This guy is turned on by the attention. That's not a bad thing. It's also part of the reason I've been saying for weeks, if I'm a contender, I'm going after him. I could absolutely see Verlander parachute into somebody's pennant chase and take him to a World Series. You guys can laugh all you like. I'm telling you, you put that guy in the bright lights, in a full stadium, pressure on, attention everywhere, I think he'll deliver. I think here it's over. But for last night, you could tell the last 2 starts he's been locked in. And you can tell 8 of the last 9 he's at least been good. And in some of those starts, he's been very good. And you know what? Maybe great never returns. But if you can add a very good pitcher at a deadline to a team that's already, I mean, what are the Dodgers? 38-6 over their last 45. You know, if you can add a very good pitcher to go with Clayton Kershaw, or if you're the Cubs and you can add a very good pitcher while Arrieta and Lackey walk out the door, or if you're the Houston Astros, it makes a big difference. I'm concerned about Al Avila. I do believe this was the last start. I do believe the LA stuff has legs. But I'm very concerned about Avila's ability to get this done and make it a winner. Make it a good deal. The JD deal really has given me a lot of pause. 248-539-9797. We'll go to Tony, the only Tiger fan in Detroit. Hi, Tony.
Hi. I was just wondering, for Mike, I was just wondering, you're saying that Al Avila should get something for Justin Verlander, yet I thought I was on the same page with you before that just getting rid of his contract would have been enough. Don't you think that's the case?
Well, hold on. Now, what we were doing, and Tony, I absolutely said that, but what we were doing was a show with the Bob Nightingale rumor saying the Cubs could pick up the entire deal. I said if someone is taking the entire deal and I'm not taking any money back, yeah, that's fine. But I've said from the beginning, the best deal, Tony, is one that you put money in and you get something back, or you add an asset like an Avila or like a Justin Wilson, and you do a blockbuster. That's the better deal.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I get your point there. But, then there were people talking a few days ago about taking half the contract for $30 million and getting someone. And who's going to pay $30 million?
It's not going to happen. No, what'll happen is this. And Tony, again, I'll say it. These reports with the Dodgers, Scott Kazmir makes $18 million. Ryu makes 8 or 9. They're going to be free agents after next year. That becomes the $30 million commitment. It's not you just handing a team money. It will be you acquiring a pitcher that you have no intent to sign. That will be part of the great salary dump of the 2018 offseason. And you still get 2 years out from Verlander, and you still end up saving, let's see, you'll save, even if you took Kazmir next year, you would save $10 million next year. You would save another 28 the year after, so that's 38, and then there's the vesting option. You might be able to get out from $50 million and do it within essentially a calendar year. So to me, look, the deals are out there. The Brewers stuff I got a hard time with. I really do. I mean, they've been a hell of a story this year. The idea that they spent so much of the season leading the Cubs. Verlander accepting a deal to Milwaukee. You know what? Maybe he would. Maybe there's no problem with it. But that's the one that I look at and go, huh? That one's tough. That one and the other one is the Yankees. The Yankees don't seem to be into it. No matter how much people, in jobs like this or newspaper writers link them to Verlander. I mean, the Yankees right now are more concerned with getting Jacoby Ellsbury's deal off the books. And the problem is that deal's every bit as you know what? Let me take it back. It's more reprehensible than Verlander. Ellsbury doesn't even play for the Yankees. I mean, they have an outfield of Judge and Gardner and Hicks and Clint Frazier. And look, Ellsbury, I think, makes, Mike, if you pull it up, is it $22 million a year for the next, oh, God. I think he's got a team option. I think he signed for 3 more years plus 1.
Yeah, not a UFA till 2022.
Okay, and there's a buyout, though. The Yankees can buy him out in the last year?
Club option in 2021.
Okay. So there you
$21
go.
million.
Signed for 3. There's no way he'll pick up the club option. The buyout's got to be at least $5 million. So you're looking at look, I was reading the New York Post the other day. I'll give you an example of how bad the Ellsbury deal is. Would the Yankees take on Jordan Zimmerman? That was actually discussed in a major publication. That's how bad the Ellsbury deal is. So when you're talking about Verlander, I don't think that's a match there. You're dealing the better player, taking on essentially the same money, and it's a guy who doesn't even play. I mean, Verlander at least starts. Verlander's no worse than a number 3 on a World Series team. And if he's locked in, even at age 34, I think he's a 2. I think he's a guy you could put out there in Game 2 of the NLDS, NLCS, whatever you want to call it, and he's your starter.
You mentioned the fans last night, Mike, and I know we kind of talked about this on the show yesterday.
It's been a good response.
Well,
I'm sorry. Is this thing on? My bad.
The fans, we talked about this. The fans at the game.
Well, I'm sorry, Roberto, you got to laugh at yourself. I mean, I opened a show with Verlander, and I'm sitting here, and I may as well be tooting a toilet paper roll. Doo-doo-doo. Go ahead, Mike. I'm going to talk to you. What do you got?
The fans at the game, as we said, it seemed like they certainly knew or thought that it was Verlander's last start.
And Verlander thought it.
But I just wonder with the fans, too, do you get the sense that fans are emotional or sad to see him go, or is it to a point with fans where they're happy and want him to go? Because I kind of see it both ways. You see some people saying, yeah, I got tickets last night because I wanted to see it. You see other people saying, just get Verlander out of here, dump the contract. I think it goes both ways. Maybe it's just bittersweet, but I just wonder what more of it is.
That's a tough question. And it's one it's hard for me to answer because, honestly, this has generally been a very tepid response when talking Tigers this summer. So I don't have a great read on fans in specific to Verlander. I think everyone's resigned to the fact, but emotionally, no. I don't know where the fans are at. I don't. We don't get enough calls on Verlander to really make there's not a big enough sample size for me to tell you.
When you look at the big picture of it, let's just assume last night was Verlander's last start, which I think we all do.
Yeah.
He signified, and if you want to throw Pudge in there, fine. But Verlander signified the rebirth of Tigers baseball in the city. So he was there, obviously what happened in 06 and then 2012 World Series.
Yeah.
But Justin Verlander's been such a rock in this city. The fact that last night was his last start and you don't see too big of a response from people one way or the other is kind of weird because I thought it would either be very, very emotional or people would just be in full rebuild mode. And I think I would probably lean towards the emotion in terms of what fans feel more. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about that what he signified is now going to be out the door.
Maybe this is the angle. I mean, I'll throw the number out for whatever it's worth, 248-539-9797. But, Mike, is it wrong that I feel like Verlander deserves to play for a winner?
See, that's interesting because that's something I've heard from fans too.
I mean, a guy of his caliber ending his career, I think it's incredibly inappropriate and sad for him to somehow finish his career here in front of an empty stadium and a team that loses 100 games a year. Now, I'm not a Tiger fan, so maybe it's easier for me to say that. But I would like to, as someone who's, done this job for 13 years here and 16 overall, it's just, I would like to see him play for a winner. I would like to see him go to Houston or New York or L.A. or, hell, Milwaukee would be an interesting story. And, yeah, I want to see him pitch for a team that's relevant as he kind of goes into the sunset.
And that World Series ring, obviously, the one thing that he needs to cap off his career.
I think he was good enough for long enough that you could make the case, guy deserves a ring. I don't think Verlander did anything wrong. Look, everyone's got foibles. We're all flawed. But overall, it's like, I think it would be incredibly depressing for him to be here. So, I'm not sad about it. I'm more, look, I'll be honest. I'm more sad that I know we're not going to have baseball to watch for a few years. I'll have to watch it. That's fine. That's what I get paid to do. But, I'm sad that you're already seeing a preview of the future here, which is this is going to be a dead baseball town. The Tigers are going to turn into the Pistons for a few years. And the listener, Mike, is not going to care, and it's sad, and it's going to suck. I mean, you'll still tune it in on 97.1. You'll still channel surf on FSD. I'm not claiming that people won't be a part of it, but when it becomes the debate points and the passion and the emotion behind it, the ability to have conversations about it, no. I think we're going to go through a couple of very dry summers where they won't be relevant and therefore won't be of any use. And that's sad because this is too good of a sports town with too rich of a history to be that way. But they did this to themselves.